Hey, what's up, y'all? Back with another video. Destiny proves Trump supporters to be in a cult, to be cult followers. All right, Destiny's my guy. Destiny's one of the best debaters I've ever heard debate. So, I gotta give this a chance. Let's go.
One of the scariest things when I look at how the Trump movement operates is it truly feels like Trump can put anything he wants in front of the Trumpists, and there's always going to be a way that it's okay, even if it literally contradicts what came 5 minutes before. So I think a really good example of this is the tariffs and everything surrounding the tariffs. So originally the idea behind the tariffs was to bring back manufacturing, which is a good idea because we want to have domestic manufacturing. So when he announces the tariffs, everybody's happy because it means domestic manufacturing is going to come back.
Right.
But then when he gets rid of the tariffs, then it's good because it was a negotiation, but I'm not entirely sure what for, because if he's negotiating to trade with a bunch of other countries, well, isn't that not having domestic manufacturing then? And it seems like on my stream, I always felt, as you might have heard me say, there's like all roads lead to Rome, where no matter what Trump does, there's always a way to justify it. And I think that's one of the scariest, I don't know if you call it a cultish aspect to it, that is frightening to me. Biden had a really disastrous debate performance. Republicans celebrated and Democrats cowered in fear. It was a horrible, we all felt that. And after that debate performance was so bad that basically the entire Democratic establishment pushed Biden away from running for the presidency again. I don't think that Trump could do anything like that would ever cause Republicans to push him away. And I think that's been demonstrated on at least 5 or 6 different occasions over the past few months. The tariffs one being one of the larger ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to. This is what I'm saying. Destiny's this fucking skilled debater. Fucking skilled. I didn't even think about that. The tariffs were to bring back jobs. They were. They were absolutely to bring back jobs. Now he's rolling back on the tariffs because they're fucking inflationary and they're somewhat rising the prices to the point where people can't afford to keep them going. And now he's saying, yeah, they were negotiation tactics. They were never meant to really do all that. Wait a minute. Yeah, wait a minute. Destiny just made a good point. Let me see what this dude says to come back to that, because that is true. That's cult-like worship. When Biden lost in that debate, we all watched that bullshit, man. Biden was stuttering, all kind of shit. Literally, the left was like, no fucking way he should run against Trump. No fucking way. So let's see what the comeback is to that.
Yeah, I'm curious because and I started kind of asking this question to people, like, is there anything that Trump could do that you think would be over the line for, maybe not necessarily for you, but for over half of the Trump supporters?
Over half. I'm sure there are things, like if he did something crazy, illegal and obvious.
Well, I'm going to say there have been crazy things and obvious things, like not bringing back Abrego Garcia. I would say is pretty crazy.
Well, I'm not too familiar with that one, but but we can talk. Like, one of the things you mentioned was that they'll always follow him. I feel like, as a MAGA Trumper, shout out to Dr. Fafo on the Pangburn universe, I feel like as a MAGA Trumper, right, Trump supporter, I can critique his tariffs and I can be like, that is directly against free market ideology, right? And I don't think the tariffs, I don't think they're permanent. Another thing you said...
Well, okay, so this is a thing I noticed that happened. So if you were to rate the badness of the tariffs on a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is the president wore a tan suit.
Yeah, because I want to say this too, hasn't the party ideology of the right switched so far since Trump? Like, tariffs are direct government influence in the economy. I thought that conservatives didn't want government influence in at all. I thought conservatism is literally no government interference, and liberalism is government interference to a degree. Well, a lot of government interference, but I thought that's what conservatives was. But they're okay with his tariffs. That shows a cult. Like, that is damn. This is why I like Destiny. Destiny will make you think, like, holy fuck, I never thought about it like that.
And 10 is the president pushed the button to nuke the entire world. How bad do you think the tariffs are on that scale, from 1 to 10?
I don't know, maybe 5. Like, the reason why I'm like kind of in the middle on some of these things. So like the tariffs, I know people that want to buy Chinese products, and now they're like, it's like it's as expensive as American products, or it's going to be.
Well, I think so. Just on the so you gave it a 5. I feel like most economists would probably put that anywhere from like a 7 to a 9 in terms of how unbelievably insane the tariff regime is right now. So I notice it feels like there's kind of a minimizing of the effect that Trump might be having on the United States and the world. And then so you said that was a 5. Can you give me like a single action that you would have worried about from Kamala, or something that Joe Biden did that you think would be over a 5 in comparison to like the tariffs? Like what's something you were worried about with Kamala, or something that Biden did that you felt like would have been worse than the tariff stuff with Trump?
Economically, good question.
Personally, I didn't really like the way we exited Afghanistan. It was long coming. Everybody
exit from Afghanistan was as bad as the tariff situation.
Well, they're different things, right? Economic and military. I think it was a very bad performance, it's hard to look at. I was trying military, so it's really hard to look at that, to see like my country put like that. If I can bring it back to the cult thing, though.
Before he goes there, I feel so bad for MAGA supporters. I feel bad because I know they're uneducated. And I just know they're uneducated. Like, yeah, that's a horrible comparison. Horrible comparison. But I just feel bad for him, man. Like, that's a horrible comparison. He's crashing global economic markets, and you're worried about exiting Afghanistan and how we looked, when that was something that for decades we were already trying to do.
Wait, one more thing.
Yeah.
That I'm just curious. Are you familiar with who negotiated the Afghanistan pullout thing?
Yeah,
Trump.
I've been told Trump did the Abraham. No, not the Abraham. It was
the Doha agreement.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That. We could definitely.
So Trump is the reason. Destiny is not somebody you want to get into a debate with. So Trump is the reason they even pulled out of Afghanistan in the first place. Yeah, just to let you know. He wanted to let you know that while we continue on with this conversation. Like, Trump grabbed a base of people who are not familiar with economic policy. And them being not as familiar with economic policy or hardly anything when it comes to the government leads to these type of conversations, and why it seems like MAGA is in a cult. But I think that if a lot more people were educated on this, a lot of people probably wouldn't be Trump supporters. But again, then he might have changed his narrative in a way to reach the audience that he could reach. But I mean, and this is no disrespect to anybody in MAGA. Seriously, I don't hate any of y'all. Listen to the comparisons. Like, I don't know.
That's that agreement, right? I don't even want to talk about this, but
Sorry, we don't have to. Well, but then I noticed that there's like this. It's just people laughed earlier when you said you weren't as familiar with the Abrego Garcia thing. It's because it seems like in the MAGA world, I personally don't subscribe to that cult model, not because I don't believe it, but I just haven't researched enough of it. But you brought up the I part, which is the information control, and it's the idea that like if I were to ask a Trump person about like trans sports, they could give me like 15 different competitions where a trans woman, just won over some cisgender women. But then if I ask like, oh, have you heard about this? This green card or visa holder who was deported with no due process to a slave camp in another country, the only country he was, ordered by our courts not to be deported back to, and it was in violation of a TRO by signing an order on a Friday night and then shipping this guy to the country, like an unbelievable set of circumstances. And it's like, well, I really don't know anything about that. But Laken Riley, by the way, and it's just like, it feels like we just moved, like, okay, yeah. But same thing with the Afghanistan thing. Like, one of the big complaints that Trump had leaving office was that the deep state was, fighting against him, and, they wouldn't listen to his orders. One of the orders that he reportedly gave was he wanted to draw down everybody out of Afghanistan before he left, and I think it was Mattis that said, we're not doing that, I'm just going to ignore that. So it's just, that's an interesting issue to have when I feel like the negotiation for the Doha agreement was horrible. More soldiers died in Afghanistan under Trump than they did under Biden during the pullout. And the dead soldiers are tragic, but man, we were not set up to leave well at all.
We were. With the deportation, I think whatever's within the law, whatever the law allows, I'm good with that.
So this is another thing that's really scary to me is when people say whatever the law is, because Donald Trump will tell you what he thinks the law is all the time. So if Donald Trump decides to deport a citizen, and he says, well, I think that in the Constitution it says naturalized citizens don't count as people who came here and were lawful permanent residents and then were naturalized under citizens, I don't think they count. then that's the scary part, I think, from our end, is that Trumpers will say, oh, well, as long as it's following the law, and he says it's following the law, therefore he can do that. It's like, well, in that case, we could basically justify anything, yeah?
I'm scared of, what do you call it? Disappearances? I don't like that. I've read too many books about that kind of stuff, like
Sure, okay.
disappearances, so I'm kind of with you on
Maybe just record documents right now about the disappearances that are happening in this current administration, but...
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk more about why. Let's do the due process thing, the thing that we're supposed to be doing, right?
Mhm.
So I can find some common ground with you on that for sure.
We believe education should hold a...
I don't think conservatives are bad people. I don't. I just think some of them don't understand what's really going on. They don't understand
On that note,
the consequences that this president is putting on us and the rest of the world. The stuff that whoever comes in next, they're gonna have a lot to deal with, man.
wait, unless you have another
Or can you,
quick
can you do this one thing, because I cut
Yeah.
off a lot.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah.
One thing, yeah, sorry, you want to bring us back to a point, I'm sorry, and I derailed you hardcore.
No, you're good. You're good. I guess, do you see any merit? Because I probably don't have time to talk about the cult thing. But do you see like any merit to that? Like it being a culture instead of a cult?
The reason why I talk about it being a cult, it has to do with personal experiences I have, and then anecdotal experiences of other people's personal experiences, is that the Trump stuff seems to be manifesting in a way that's unlike any other political movement in history. Like, sometimes you have people and you disagree politically on things, but I've seen so many people on my own subreddit, I've gotten emails, and I've had it personally happen to me with personal friends, where somebody sends you a message and they're like, hey, did you see this thing on Candace Owens? Or did you see this thing on that RFK said? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh God. And inevitably, 6 months later, it'll be like, did you know that Israel not only did 9/11, but they were also in charge of the train derailment, and did you know that blah, 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 and it's like, they're gone. Like, and it's this weird world, because people ask me, like, how do you get a person out of this? And you have to treat it basically like, I would say, like an abusive relationship or a cult, where you can be kind of like supportive and loving, but that's it. There's nothing that you can say or do. There is no fact that can permeate force field or the shield of all the Trump stuff. And that's I think that's why I view it as a cult. And it's how I think people have to kind of approach people that get sucked into it. But
On a scale of 1 to 10, since you gave me a scaling, maybe I can return it. What do you think? 10 being like the People's Temple, and 1 being like it's a right-wing political movement.
10.
Probably 7 or 8. I think even Republicans admitted when Trump came in office, he wasn't really a strong conservative like
Well, he said the
His
People's
lifestyle
Temple.
absolutely is not conservative, right? He's closer to me than,
So
than
I say 8 or
fucking
9.
than anything else. So yeah, no. It doesn't seem to be a movement rooted in conservatism at all. And like all of your traditional conservative values are totally absent now, I think, in the MAGA movement. So
He was a Democrat at some point.
Yeah.
But like, so the People's Temple, I don't know if you read too much on that, but like there was a serious thing that happened. It's where the phrase "drink the Kool-Aid." I encourage everybody to read that. Right? Lots of people, almost 1,000 people. Yeah, like I don't even know if I could say.
Is that called the
it.
People's Temple, or was it called Jonestown? I don't know.
I would say more people probably died than the Kool-Aid drinkers than people who didn't get vaccinated. I would compare that to.
Well, that's another thing. It's like Trumpers.
Yeah, Destiny's a tough person to debate, and he's got like a whole fucking. Oh damn, he spent a whole hour debating nothing but Trump voters. I want to watch that. Hey, all right, I'm out, y'all. Peace. Oh shit, hold on.